Welcome to Easy to Love Yoga with Shanna. I'm so glad you've joined me today. Today we're going to reflect and renew and take some time to sample yin yoga. So yin yoga is about stretching the deep connective tissue, the ligaments, the tendons, and the fascia in the body. We come to the edge of our pose, so we just go a little bit beyond what's comfortable. We focus our attention inwards on our breath, quieting the mind, focusing on a couple of words as we inhale and exhale to help block out the rest of the day. So please come and join me in this yin practice. We're going to use 2 blankets, one as a comfortable seat, and we will also use a set of yoga blocks. If you have a yoga bolster, you can also use that as well if you don't have blocks available. So let's come seated in a comfortable position, sitting nice and tall, thinking about a straight spine, resting your hands on the legs wherever they're comfortable, closing your eyes and taking a moment to notice your breath. As we inhale, noticing the chest rise and then the belly rise. Exhaling, the belly falls and then the chest falls. Let's pay attention and notice our breath for the next 5 rounds of breath. Bringing your attention now to the crown of your head, let's do a scan of the body from the crown of the head all the way down to the toes. Noticing any areas we need to be mindful of as we move through this practice today. And remembering if a pose feels uncomfortable, you can modify or just not do that pose at all. Always keep yourself safe in any practice. Completing the scan of our body and bringing our attention once again to our breath. Noticing we're breathing deeply for the next 4 rounds of breath. Gently open your eyes. We're going to move into our first pose, dragonfly or straddle pose as it's called in some practices. So we're going to bring our legs into a deep V shape. We're going to have our yoga blocks handy so we can bring our forehead down to the yoga blocks. So if you're noticing any tension underneath the knees, if you happen to be hyperextending, you could take a blanket and bring it under the knees to just add a little bit of comfort there, although it's not required. So that second blanket is handy just in case it's needed. So let's think about rounding the back very gently here. So we're going to slowly take our hands and glide down our legs as we round our back, allowing it to soften and relax. And this is where your yoga blocks will come in handy. You can have them stacked initially in a tall position. So as we lower down, we'll bring our forehead to the top of the blocks. Resting here for a moment as you allow the low back, the mid back, the upper back, shoulders, and neck to begin to soften and relax. Reaching forward with the hands down the legs, or you could also reach in front of the body, whatever feels best for you. Breathing deeply, focusing on your breath here. So through this practice today, we will inhale love and exhale peace, keeping the other thoughts of the day at bay as we focus on love and peace. Allowing the back to soften as you round forward. Breathing deeply, inhaling love, exhaling peace. As you begin to see the back is softening, we can take our block and lower it down a little bit. Perhaps you need to move it a little bit more forward. As you come deeper into this pose, looking for your edge. Inhaling love, Exhaling peace. Allowing the muscles a chance to relax, lengthen. And again, as you feel the body beginning to relax deeper into this stretch, you can adjust the blocks, bring your reach further down your legs or in front of the body, looking for that edge. Inhaling love, exhaling peace. Let's stay in this pose for 4 more rounds of breath. Very slowly lifting your head off the blocks, allowing the hands to travel up the legs. We're going to adjust our legs this time. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Now, depending on the flexibility in your hips today, you can have your feet further apart for a more relaxed feel, or you can bring those feet closer to the body. So find what works for you today. And once again, we're going to take the blocks and we're going to have them ready to bring our forehead to. So I'm starting with my feet further away from the body, and I'm going to slowly allow my hands to come forward, resting my elbows on my knees, and just bringing my head to that bolster, that block. Just relaxing here. Once again, allowing the back to round and soften all the way to the shoulders and the neck. Feeling a little more intensity in the hips, inner thigh and groin as we stay in butterfly pose. Inhaling love, exhaling peace. And once again, if you find this very uncomfortable on the legs, you can take that rolled blanket and bring it up under your thighs to add a little bit of support here if you're not used to this pose. But it's not required. Remember, in yin yoga, we're looking for our edge, using as few props as possible. So as you come deeper into the butterfly pose, you can change the height of your blocks and roll forward just slightly, rounding the back and the shoulders, bringing your head down to the lower blocks. Looking for your edge as you inhale love and exhale peace. Notice as you begin to relax into this pose, perhaps you'd like to bring your feet a little closer to the body in butterfly. Finding what works best for you. Perhaps you don't want to use the blocks at all. You just like to hold onto your feet and allow the body to soften and round forward. Find your comfort level in this pose. Let's stay in butterfly for 4 more rounds of breath. Slowly allow the hands to come up the legs and straighten the legs for just a moment. Now remember, yin yoga is a practice where we're holding for a very long time in a pose, sometimes 5 to 10 minutes in a pose. As this is just a sampler class, we're not holding the poses that long. We're just giving you an idea of what the pose feels like and how to get into the pose with this video. So remember, if you like to do this on your own and you like to stay in the poses longer, just pause the video and keep a clock handy. Watch the clock. You can stay in any pose from 5 to 10 minutes, whatever you find most comfortable. And remember, you can always adjust a pose using props. Yin yoga is about using minimal props to get into the pose and find your edge, but remember to always make yourself comfortable. We don't want to injure ourselves trying to do too much too soon. So we're going to set our blocks aside and we're going to use the blanket that we're seated on for our next pose. So we're going to take that blanket and bring it across the width of our mat. Just setting aside your other blanket, setting aside your blocks. So what we're going to do now is a bridge pose. So you're going to bring your hips across the blanket. So your sacrum is in the center of the blanket. So coming onto that blanket and very carefully lowering to the ground, making sure that you are comfortable on that blanket. Just rock back and forth a couple of times and make sure there's no lumps in that blanket, so you're going to find yourself very comfortable here. We're going to bring our arms into a T position and we're going to extend one leg out followed by the next. You're going to feel a nice stretching sensation in the front of the hips here. This is also a very gentle back bend. So we're going to ease into this pose, closing your eyes, focusing on your breath here. Relaxing into this pose. Noticing the sensations in the back, in the hips. Breathing deeply, inhaling love and exhaling peace. Focus your attention inward here. Now this is a very gentle example of supported bridge. For more advanced practitioners, you can use a yoga bolster or a yoga block instead of the blanket. I always like to start in the most gentlest form of a pose as an introduction. So we're using a blanket today. Noticing the belly rise on the inhale. And noticing the sensations in the body. Inhaling love and exhaling peace. Let's stay in this pose for 4 more rounds of breath. To slowly come out of this pose, bend your right knee and bring the right foot flat to the mat, close to the body, followed by bending the left knee and bringing that left foot to the mat. Take the blanket in one hand, gently lift up off the blanket and pull that blanket aside and lower back down onto the mat. Just stay here for 2 rounds of breath. Now extend one leg out, followed by the next. We're going to take our arms and draw them overhead, lengthening the body here. Really stretch and reach in both directions, preparing for our next pose of banana. So banana is a gentle stretch for the side of the body. We're going to start by walking our right foot slightly to the right, followed by the left. Walk the right foot again, followed by the left, until you feel a nice C shape beginning in the lower part of the body. Now we're going to do the same thing with the arms, walking right and left, until you've made that beautiful C shape into banana. Now closing your eyes and spending some time here, focusing on your breath. Remember, if at any time this pose becomes uncomfortable, just ease off of the pose slightly. Straighten your C out just a tiny bit, moving your feet closer to the midline or your hands closer to the midline. Inhaling love, exhaling peace. Now as you begin to relax into this pose, you can make the pose more difficult by drawing your left hand closer to your right, or taking your left foot and crossing it over your right ankle. Or you can simply stay where you are and enjoy the pose as it is. Let's just stay here for 4 more rounds of breath. Now slowly coming out of this pose by walking the left hand closer to midline, followed by the right, and the same with the feet. Coming back to our starting position, taking a moment here, noticing the sensations in your body before you move on to the other side. And now taking the left foot, moving it to the left, followed by the right. Moving the left foot again, followed by the right, feeling that nice C begin in the lower half of the body. And now doing the same thing with the arms, moving them in that same direction to the left, forming that nice C of the banana. Settling into the pose here, breathing deeply, focusing inward on your breath. Inhaling love, exhaling peace. Again, as you relax into this pose, if you'd like to make it more difficult, bring the right hand closer to the left. Take the right foot and cross it over the left ankle, or stay where you are if the pose is enjoyable as it is. Let's stay here for just 4 more rounds of breath. Remembering you can always pause the video if you'd like to stay in the pose for a longer time. Again, to slowly come out of the pose, walking the hands back to center line, slowly, and then followed by the feet. Breathing deeply here, taking a moment, noticing the sensations in the body. And now we're going to take the arms and we're going to bring them to a 45-degree angle to the body, palms facing upwards. So just make sure you don't have any blankets or blocks in the way here. Taking our moment here for our final resting pose, allowing the toes to fall to the sides, palms facing upward, relaxing the entire body into the sensation of the earth supporting you. Take a moment to notice your breath. Breathing deeply, feeling the belly rise on the inhale, falling on the exhale. Taking a moment to do a scan of the body from the crown of the head to your toes. Notice how you feel after this yin sampler practice. Now bending your knees and bringing your feet to the mat, slowly rolling over onto one side and coming back into a seated position. Cross legs, legs extended, or you could be sitting on your heels if that's comfortable for you today. We're going to start with our fingers pointing towards the mat, palms shining forward, inhaling up. Exhaling, drawing the hands towards the shoulders and pressing away. Inhale, lift in front of the body. Exhale, draw the arms towards the body back to our starting position. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to the shoulders and press away. Inhaling and lift. Exhale and draw in one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the shoulders and press away. Inhale and lift. Exhale and draw in. This time we're going to inhale, bring the palms of the hands together, lower them to heart center, close your eyes. I'd like to thank all of you for trying this gentle yin sampler practice today. I hope you enjoy the change of pace, and I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for participating. Namaste. Thank you again, and please remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, and I'll see you next time.